Okay, so this is going to be an instructional / overview video on this used Autosleeper Bourton. First of all, we're going to go around the external of the motorhome and then we will go into the habitation area. The first thing I'm going to show you is how to open the bonnet. Two reasons for this. One is so you know how to open the bonnet, and then two, I'm just going to show you the terminal points in case you need to jump start the vehicle for any reason. So to open the bonnet, you need to come around to the passenger door, and then if you open the passenger door, in the footwell down here you'll see a black lever. All you need to do, pull that lever once and that will then release. Also, while we are in here, underneath the footwell as well, we've got your toolkit, so there'll be just a towing eye in there, a potential jack as well. And then the front windscreen has blackout blinds, so this is released by this tab here. Basically these buttons here, you need to push these buttons out like so, and then they will slide across and meet in the middle and join together on a magnetic strip. So again, on this tab here, you push this in, and then there's a tab here, you click back into place, and one at the top, and they lock into place then. And then on the driver and passenger door, blackout blinds again. These are on a little magnetic strip here, but you just slide them across, they meet at the end on a magnetic strip like so. So as you can see, I've now got access to the bonnet area. Like I said, the main reason is to show you the terminal points in case you need to jump start the vehicle for any reason. So here behind this red cap here, you push it in, twist a little bit and push, and that will give you the terminal point for your positive. And then your negative is just up here in the corner on this nipple sticking out. So that is going to be your negative terminal point. Also under here we've got obviously your screen wash fill as well, and then obviously your engine fill and all your other components. So now we are going to carry around the external of the motorhome, and we'll continue on the passenger side. So next to the passenger door, behind this cover here, is going to be your diesel fill. All you need to do is to access this is to open the door, and then that will give you access to the diesel fill. Your passenger door does lock that into place when it's shut. Here we have a belly locker, and then above that we have another locker, but this one is under the bench seat internally. So you can access this obviously external, but then when you are in the motorhome, you can lift up the bench seat and access this as well. Your awning winders clipped in here, and then on the rear underneath this vehicle it has got steadies as well. Here we've got your hose pipe to fill, and this connector, which we'll get to on the other side, basically this connects onto the van, and then the other side connects onto an outside tap. Turn the tap on and that will fill up your fresh water. Here we have external barbecue point, so you just need a quick release connection which clips onto the end here, and then this is a tap, so you just need to turn the tap on or off. Next to it is external power, so you've got 3-pin socket externally, so this will only work on mains hookup. So if you're connected to shore at campsite, then this will give you external power. We've got ventilation for your fridge freezer. We'll carry on around the external, but this vehicle does come with an awning, and on the email you'll get sent a separate link how to set up and use the awning. So now we are on the driver's side of the habitation. So behind the rear axle, underneath, you can see we've got a grey waste drain valve. All you need to do is twist that valve and that will drain your grey waste. Above that we've got your toilet cassette. Open this door, and if you want to release your cassette to empty or clean, all you need to do is this yellow tab here, lift it up slide it towards you, and that will then release. And then to empty your cassette, this nozzle on the left, twist it out to the left. Take this yellow cap off, and then if you tilt up the cassette, the fluids will start flowing out. But if you want them to flow out a lot faster and not splatter you, if you put your thumb on the button at the top, hold the button down, and basically that lets air into the top of the cassette, so all the fluids flow out a lot faster. Other than that, you can actually open the cassette blade, slide this open, twist this yellow lever here, and that will open the blade, and you can clean internally with a hose pipe. And you can potentially put your chemical in there as well, or the Thetford portion size sachets. Once you've done that, all you need to do is slide it back in place, align it, push it back in, and then make sure that yellow clip is down secure, because then in transit your cassette is not going to move in or out while travelling. Above that we have your system fill. So on this vehicle, if you want to use your flush on the toilet, you need to make sure you put water in here. So fill this up, and that is your cistern for the toilet. You can put chemical in here as well, but it's up to you if you want to just put chemical into the cassette itself and just use this as just water. But you need to fill this up with water, so you've got some water to then obviously flush the toilet. Here we have your mains hookup. So this is where you connect to the campsite. You plug in here, and this will then charge your leisure batteries as well as give you 240 volt on the sockets. Here we have your Truma flue. So you just need to keep this clear at all times, especially obviously when running on gas. This is where your fumes do exhaust from. Here we have a freshwater fill. So as I was showing you before, on the hose pipe you got the square connection. Click that on there, turn the tap on the other side, and that will fill up the freshwater tank. There is two ways of filling up. So you got that one there. Directly below that you have got your fresh water drain valve. Again, same with the grey waste. Twist that handle, 180 turn, and that will open the fresh water. So the reason you'll empty the fresh water is, one, obviously if you're not motorhoming. Two, in winter you want to empty it out so it's not freezing the fresh water tank. But that is where you empty the fresh water tank. Here, this vehicle does have an underslung LPG tank. So this is where you will fill up. You just need to take this cap off here. Take this cap off, and then at the LPG station you connect the hose up, and that will fill up your LPG. And to the right here we have another freshwater fill. This one you can just take off the cap and put your hose pipe in, and that will fill up the tanks as well. On your LPG, if you want to see your level, it is at the side of the steering wheel, so you do need to turn your ignition on to see this, but this will give you an LED indication if it's empty or full. So now we are going to go into the habitation. As you can see, we do have an electric fold out step, and that is controlled internally, and there is a button just there that you just press once and it will fold out, and you press it to put the step back into place. As you can see, we are now in the habitation area. You got some light switches here, and then at the side of the habitation door we have your control panel. So the top left is your power on and off for the 12 volt system. The next one is your water pump. On your water pump, you only want to turn the pump on when you've got physical water in the tank. You don't want to turn this on without water in, because you could potentially burn out the motor. So we recommend to fill the freshwater tank up. But if you've got water in, then obviously you can turn it on. Once you prime the system, you can leave that pump on because it's pressurized. Here is some lights internally. This one on the bottom left, try and zoom in a bit for you. On the bottom left is your external awning light. Here you can just switch over the lights. This one is your switch from leisure battery to vehicle battery. So you can press it, and here, as you can see, it says L. That means I'm running the motorhome off the leisure battery. If I press it again, it will say V, which is vehicle battery. You don't want to run it off the vehicle battery. It is just really an emergency if you need power for any reason. Always leave it on leisure battery because you don't want to drain your vehicle battery and then obviously need to jump start the vehicle. As you can see here, we've got some controls. So you can go through some of these settings. So leisure battery gives you your voltage, gives you your amp hour, gives you solar amps. It gives you quite a lot of information, to be fair. So that's on your leisure battery. You can go through the settings. You can set an alarm on here. That's your time. Vehicle battery. So it gives you a quick overview here. So you've got your vehicle on your left, leisure battery in the middle, your voltage. It gives you your fresh water tank in the red. See where it's red, showing that it's low because it will be empty. So your fresh water, and then your grey waste is on the right hand side. So they give you a rough percentage of gauge, and then it's back to the leisure battery of what it's giving you. So it's quite straightforward, that control panel. At the back we have a kitchen. So what we're going to do now, we're going to prime our motorhome with water. We're going to prime our system with water, pressurize the taps. Basically how you do that is your fresh water, fill up your fresh water completely full, shut all your drain valves. When your fresh water tank is completely full, what we need to do is come to the control panel, turn on the control panel, and then we can turn on our pump because we have water in the fresh water tank. Once we've turned on the pump, you'll hear it start to prime, and basically all you need to do, open the tap on the cold side, and then when you get a steady flow, that will vent out any air in the pipework. When you get a steady flow of water on the cold side, you can shut the tap, twist it to the hot side, and then open the tap. And what that's going to do is take water from the fresh water tank into your boiler, and then from your boiler through the pipework to the tap. Your boiler holds around 10 to 12 litres of your fresh water, so this might take a minute or longer. But basically, once you get a steady flow again on the hot side, shut the tap, and that is your system primed, ready to use. The only thing you need to do is your hot water is not instant hot water. You do need to boil it through the Truma control panel, which we will get to. As you can see here, we've got a 4-ring burner. 3's gas, 1's electric. The electric will only work on mains hookup, and then obviously if you're off grid, you can be just on gas. One safety advice we recommend is this glass cover. Is to always keep the glass cover up, just to let the stove cool down because of the temperature difference, or if you've got the back window open, because of the cold air hitting the glass, you could potentially shatter the glass. Then we've got your igniter on here, which will work when your 12-volt system's on. And then we do have some lights up here as well, an extractor as well. We've got 3-pin sockets in the kitchen area as well. We've got 2 lots. Again, they will only work when you are plugged in at campsite. We have a microwave in here. To turn the microwave on, there is a little switch just down here, and the microwave will come on. Again, on the microwave, that will only work on mains hookup because it runs on the 3-pin sockets. We have your fridge freezer down here, and to turn on your fridge freezer, all you need to do, press the power button, and then you've got, it's a 3-way fridge. So you've got first one, plug socket, which is when you are connected to mains hookup at campsite. you can run the fridge off mains hookup. If you're off grid, press gas, press an hold, and it will light up here. It's currently trying to ignite. You can hear it clicking. So if you're off grid, you'll be running off gas. Here is your battery symbol. Basically it's beeping because the engine's not running, but the battery runs off the engine when the engine's running. So when you're travelling, you want to put it on the battery one. If you're off grid, you want to put it on gas. And then if you're on campsite, you want to put it on electric. On the right hand side is your temperature. So the higher it is, the colder it will get, and the lower is obviously warmer. To turn this off, press and hold the power and it will then shut down. In here we have got your shower cubicle and toilet, and they've got lights in here which are touch. So you don't need to prime your system in here. Once you've primed one tap, all this is going to do when you open the tap ready to use, when you need to use it, sorry, open the tap and it will just vent any leftover air in the pipework to the shower head or the basin tap. But that is your shower cubicle. If you want to convert this into your shower cubicle, all you need to do is swing that around, and then you have got a shower door there, which then creates your cubicle, so it's watertight. And then here we've got your toilet. So if you want to use your toilet, you've got a grey handle lower down. You just need to slide the lever and that will open the toilet cassette, and then obviously after use close the valve so no smells come back up. And then the blue button is your toilet flush. So again, this has got its own built-in system. So because we've filled up the water externally, this has got water in and a little pump, and when you press that button, that will flush the toilet. On the right hand side, you've got an indicator that will move to red/orange when the toilet cassette is full. In here we've got storage, we've got your dining table in the middle, we've got 3 gas valves here. So basically what this is if one of the appliances goes faulty, if the fridge goes faulty, you can isolate the one in the middle. You can turn that off. They currently are switched on. There is a sticker indicating there, but basically if the fridge goes faulty, I can isolate the fridge and still use the other appliances on gas. Vice versa, if the stove goes faulty, I can isolate the stove and still have the fridge running on gas. We've got another little table which has got a leg which does clip on to the end of that bench seat down there. It's got a little holder, so that's a nice little touch. And then above that we have got an aerial. So if you want to use this aerial, there will be a power switch on the top left, and you can see there's a blue light indication. You've got this little dial here for signal strength. You may as well just leave it on max. And then if you want to get the best signal, all you need to do is undo this nut here, and you can slide this pole up and down and twist it left to right. And then here, this LED light will give you an indication of strong signal. If you get a solid red, it's usually weak signal or no signal. And then I think it goes to, it's like a traffic light system, green and amber. Here we have your Truma heating and hot water. On the Truma control panel, on the email you'll get sent a separate link how to use this control panel. You've got lots of storage above, and then we've got your bench seating. So this can be either single beds on each side, or you can slide this out and join it all together to make a large double king size. If you join it together, you slide the legs out, put the big cushions in the middle, and then the outer ones you fold them down the side, and that creates your large bed space. Underneath this bench seat we have got your control panel. So on the left side here, we have got your 12 volt system, so that is all your 12 volt fuses. And then on the right here, we've got your mains breaker. So this is where you're connected to mains hookup. You just need to check here in case something's tripped on the 240 volt side. So it could be your plug sockets, could be the fridge as well. Also under that bench seat is going to be where your Truma boiler is, and your Truma valve to drain the boiler is under there. So that valve for the boiler you do need to shut first before you fill up the before you prime your system. If the boiler valve is open and you're trying to prime the system through the tap, basically what's going to happen when you're pumping the water, it's going to pump straight out of the motorhome and drain. So you need to make sure you close the boiler valve, which we'll get to and I'll show you. I just need to remove these cushions here so I can give us access. So that's under that side, and then under this left hand side bench seat, that's the one I was saying externally. You can access externally or you can access internally as well. So what I'm going to do now is remove these cushions, and then the last thing as well, we have got an inverter been fitted previously, and basically if you're off grid and you want to have one 3-pin socket, switch this on, that will light up and you can plug in here to give you your 3-pin socket when you are off grid. So that will run off your leisure battery. And then that is that holder here for that little side table. If you want to swivel the driver passenger seat, you got them little levers there. All you need to do, I think, yeah, pull the lever and then the seat will swivel. And then this handbrake is a drop down one, so it gets out of the way when you swivel around on the driver's seat. So what I'm going to do now is just remove this cushion area and just show you what is under here as well. So as you can see, I've now got access underneath this bench seating. So on the left hand side you'll see a black container, and that is one of your freshwater tanks. So one of the tanks is internal, which is a bit smaller, and then there is an underslung tank as well. So it does fill both tanks up when you are filling up. If you're filling up, this nozzle here is from the one where you put the hose pipe in, and that will fill this tank and then straight into the underslung tank as well. On the right hand side we have got some more fuses as well again. So just lift that cover up, so that's on your 12 volt system. Here is a switch for the grey waste. It has a little heater, and then down here, it is hard to show you, but this black valve here with the diamond valve on top, that is your frost protect valve for the Truma boiler. So this is the valve you do need to close if you want to fill up the boiler with water to use. Currently this is in the open position. Basically the diamond valve is in line, and then there is, very hard to show you, but there is a little blue button just down there in front of the valve which is sticking out. To shut this valve, what you need to do is twist the diamond valve on top like so. But currently the valve is still open because this little blue button down here is sticking out. If I push this blue button in, now the blue button is in and it's staying in, so that valve is completely shut. So when we fill up our boiler with water, it's not going to drain out. If you want to drain this manually, all you need to do is twist that diamond valve on top back in line and the blue button will pop out. Or this, like I said, this is called a frost protect valve. Basically, if you forget that the water is in there or you've not drained it, if the van gets really cold, this valve will open automatically. Basically the blue button down below will pop out. Basically when the valve hits around 6/3 degrees or less, it's on a magnet and the blue button pops out, and drains all the content of the water out of the boiler to protect it. If you want to drain it manually, all you need to do, twist the diamond valve on top, the blue button has now popped out, and then the water will drain out of the boiler underneath the motorhome. So you need to shut this valve to fill up the Truma boiler with water, so then you can obviously boil the hot water, and then you need to open this to drain the boiler of its water content. So that is the instructional / overview video of this used Autosleeper Bourton. If you have any more questions, leave a comment below, or you can always drop us an email or give us a call.